And I am also recording. Excellent.
That'll be easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look at this. There's like a record button right here. I'll tell you to press it.
Oh, weird.
Broken, but still good. Yeah, still good.
Welcome to General Geekery. Specifically,
It's a podcast.
I'm Lou,
I'm Ben.
and we are recording during the day once again because we have a little bit of flexibility right now. As you can see in the reflection off of Ben's sunglasses,
Can you see that?
He's not wearing his sunglasses at night.
So I can.
Yeah, is this like a podcasting superpower? Like, what's going on here?
So I've been trying to update my look, and I feel like if I wear sunglasses all the time, I'll look like a complete douche. And so I got that going for me. No,
look updated.
Here's the deal. Well, if you notice, okay, so notice here, you don't see any labels on these sunglasses, right? Okay.
I do not.
Just the reflection of probably if people looking really close, they can see the reflection of you in on my own sunglasses, which turns into like the infinite reflection in like two mirrors facing each other.
I can make out something on in the reflection of his glasses. Oh wait, I can also see his camera.
It's a dream and a dream and a dream. All right, Leo.
All right. Listener challenge. How much is the lag? How bad is the lag? Look at my video versus the glasses.
Oh, wait, now I'm moving the glasses. Now they can't see.
Well, that's good. We want it to be challenging.
I am actually going to close out like what might be sensitive information over here. It's not that sensitive, but my messages are up. So, anyway, not that I have anything bad in messages.
Anyway,
it's mainly me and you making dick jokes. So anyway.
Answer my question. Oh, okay. Well, basically.
Sunglasses. So you don't see any labels because fancy stuff doesn't always have labels. All right. So this was my anniversary present. We were recording this a couple days late because my wife made the mistake of staying with me for 13 years. And she got these for me and she's like, have you heard of these before? And I was like, sunglasses, yes. And she's like, these kind of sunglasses. I'm like, no, because these are not just regular sunglasses, my friends.
All right.
These are Bose sunglasses.
I didn't know they made sunglasses.
They just started making them. These are Bose sunglasses. So for those that are watching the YouTube, let me throw it up there a little bit. So look like kind of Wayfarer style sunglasses, right?
They have thick arms.
And then they've got these big, thick arms. And there's like a button right there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So these sunglasses are Bluetooth. And they have very high quality, tiny little speakers right here in the arms, directed right into your ears. So they don't replace headphones. Let me go ahead and say that because people are all over the internet going, they don't replace headphones. Well, no.
You got cans on your head. We can see that. Yeah.
Obviously not. Although I could have used them for it, and I'll come back to that, is these Bose Bluetooth headphones are made for basically someone exactly like me that wants to be able to go out and do something, but still be able to hear what's going on around them. So I want to go walk the dogs, but I also want to hear the impending truck that's going to strike me and Flynn and Lily.
Smart.
I might want to go on a run, listen to music, but you throw on those headphones with the in-ears, you might not hear traffic. You might not hear the traffic signal telling you not to cross, like they have on UGA campus, things like that. So it keeps it open. Exactly. But the quality is actually really, really good. But when she got them for me, she didn't even know that they had a Bluetooth speaker in them as well. Or a microphone. So I got a phone call.
So hands-free.
Hands-free. So you've got just one button here. So one, you can be listening to music, and then when somebody comes up to you, you can just like hit the button. It looks like you're adjusting your glasses, but you hit the button and you answer a call or deny a call or talk to somebody, things like that. But I got a call and you just press it once when a call comes in and you just talk on your sunglasses. So maybe you're out like pruning the hedges, because your wife she gave you sunglasses and then it was like, go out in the yard and now do some work, a-hole. And so I'm out pruning the hedges. I can still listen to my Childish Gambino while I'm out pruning the hedges. And I can hear her, and I can hear her when she calls. So I can't be like, "Whoa, I didn't hear my phone ring." She's like, "It's literally on your face."
That is amazingly super douche canoe. I want to.
Okay, so I'm gonna take those off now. But I didn't have any nice. Yeah. They have to see my face. You can see how tired I am. I know, right? I've been working hard lately.
These days?
Exactly. Somehow having less to do makes us have more to do. Is anybody else in the same situation?
It seems like it's affected everybody in so many different ways. It's like there is no consistency in it at all.
Right.
So did you? Was there a correction clarification you had, or
yeah, I do. I have a corrections department. Yeah. Because I was talking about.
Let's make ourselves whole before we.
Right. Hey, you remember that last time when we were dumb? Well, I was dumb.
Which last time?
That's it.
Oh, it's your turn. It's your turn at least. I had like 3 last time, so it's your turn.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to talk about the Grand Canyon some, but let me come back. Corrections Department. The Russos did not do Civil War first. Winter Soldier was their first one. I erroneously said that that's how the Russos got Civil War. It was Winter Soldier, which some still consider maybe the best of those movies. I know Civil War is very, very high. Of course, Infinity War and Endgame were huge, but a lot of the deep fans seem to really think that Winter Soldier was the best. Honestly, I thought it was okay. Like, I'm not gonna bash on it, but there's just others that I hold in higher regard. But that was their entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I spoke wrongly. I'm sorry to the Russo brothers. Should I ever get to work with the Russo brothers, I'm very sorry.
You know what? You're probably all right.
Safe bet. Safe bet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, it's never going to happen, but it's
essentially never going to happen. Yeah.
Shoot for the stars.
when someone pauses that long, when they go, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but
right.
No, that's exactly what you're saying. That is precisely what you're saying.
So speaking of corrections, instead of corrections, I want to kick off with the Grand Landfill.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to talk about how many things will fit in the Grand Canyon.
Yes, because I was hinting at wanting us to go ahead and come up with one right then. We kicked some around. So where are we at on that?
Well, where we're at is I bought a subscription to Wolfram Alpha. So ta-da!
Congratulations.
It's for work purpose.
Sure you didn't.
It's a write-off. So
take a banana, take $5. Take a banana, take $5. Are you sure your math's right? Hey, listen, that man's an arsonist.
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
So I started off simple, started playing with the concept, and saw where I ended up. So I didn't do much deep dive for this week, but I have some good ones coming up. I've been working on it. We talked about Titanics.
Right.
How many Titanics? And basically what you come down to is 32 million Titanics would take.
What? Wait, say that. 32 million?
32 million.
Titanics.
In
the Grand Canyon.
Ship of Dreams. Yeah.
That's
which sounds like a lot, but Titanic was not all that big,
right?
Compared to cruise ships now,
right?
It was big, but
I guess in my mind's eye, because of how big it is in history, I have a tendency to think of it as bigger than it actually was in real life.
Yeah, and it was big. It was over 800. Hold on a second. And I'm just doing a straight up Google search for this one. I'm not putting this in the Wolfram Alpha. The Titanic length was 883 feet. The Magic and the Wonder, or the smaller Disney cruise ships, are the first ones they built, which are still pretty big. Mm-hmm. They're 965 feet long.
Okay.
But something to think about is they're also way taller, 13, 14, 15 floors. Stories is what I was going for.
Right.
Titanic, I'm not sure exactly how many it had, but only a few. It's nowhere near as tall. And it had a maximum beam of 92 feet and narrowed quite a bit. Whereas like the Magic and the Wonder, they have a beam of 106 feet. So an extra 14 feet, which doesn't sound like much, but it's wider, longer. And 8 feet out of 100 feet, that's almost a 10% difference in size. It's a big, when it adds up quickly over.
Right. So give me that number again. How many fit into the Grand Canyon?
If you're looking at Titanics, it is 32 million.
Okay. 32 million. So for those that had 32 million or less, Price is Right rules, then you win. So
closest without going over.
So let's go
1/10 of a Titanic.
Okay, so I'm going to go right off the cuff now. So for those that want to write in for next week, that want to tweet at us, that want to let us know, I'm going to pick a new thing to put in the Grand Canyon. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Because we just did a ship. So I am now thinking we need a different mode of transportation.
Okay. I like it.
I'm going to say, you know what? There's been some really good deals on cars lately. There's been a lot of low financing on family sedans. Okay. So I'm going to say, how many family 4-door sedans would fit in? Now, question for Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram Alpha is, do I need to give the exact make and model? Or are we going to be able, and no cheating at home. This is honor system. Everybody's on quarantine. I know you have the internet. No cheating at home. We're looking for 4-door family sedans to fit in the Grand Canyon.
I will find that out. What kind of information does it have on 4-door sedans? We're going to figure that out.
We're going to figure it out. We'll have an answer
next week. We'll have an answer. So make your guesses. Send them to us.
So let's have a little bit more fun with it. Let's have a little. Let's have an in-house bet. Okay.
Okay.
Me and you.
Uh-huh.
I say we both guess as well. I say we play along because we don't have the answer yet. We'll look up the answer, but just like everybody else, we're on the honor system. So since it's my dumb idea, I'll go ahead and make the first dumb choice. You said Titanics were 2.3. Is that right?
3.2. 32.
32.
Yeah.
I should do numbers better.
I almost said 3.2 earlier. I had a problem with my notation.
32 million Titanics.
That's right.
I'm going to say 150 million cars.
Really? Okay. I'm gonna say that 4-door sedans.
Right.
I'm gonna say that total displacement of the Titanic. I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna say there's 10,000 cars to a Titanic. So I'm gonna put this in the order of magnitude of 100 billion.
I like that all the people right now that even do basic math are like, wait, you went from 32 to 150. So if you divide 150 by 32, you think there's only that many cars in a Titanic? Yeah, I know I undershot. I thought about it as soon as I said it, but sometimes I talk before I think.
But Price is Right rules, right? So I mean,
it's basically $1. So you guys now have a range to work within. Is if you want a $1 Lou, you can, but you can't $1 me because there's not a chance.
You have to 151 million cars.
All right, so there you go. So that is our Titanic quiz of the week. How many can fit in this? Sounds dirtier than it is.
Yeah. All right. We got big news.
We do have big news.
Turns out that Universal Studios Orlando and Legoland Florida, as I understand right now, have gotten approval from the mayor, but now are submitting to the governor. So it has to go up the chain.
Right.
To partially reopen. That's Legoland Florida and Universal Studios Orlando. Walt Disney World, notably absent from the list.
Right. That's the big thing that jumped out at me when you mentioned it is, Universal's always looking for an advantage in Orlando. They're great. They're like, don't get me wrong, they're great.
And they're Harry Potter. They have the advantage. But
right. Well, but numbers wise, I think Disney still pulls the lion's share.
They do. And Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is really good. The old Disney's back. But point being,
go ahead.
There are caveats.
Right.
So their plan in broad strokes, and I'm reading a USA Today article, but I've seen this confirmed in a few different, or corroborated in a few different articles.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be limited parking every other, so they're going to be spacing out even parking.
Okay.
Reduced entrances. So they're going to be limiting, my understanding is June 1st and 2nd, from a different article. I don't have it in front of me right now, but June 1st and 2nd is going to be staff only to kind of get ready, retrain.
Right.
June 3rd and 4th are going to be limited to like annual pass holders, limited access even then.
Uh-huh.
Because they're going to have to retrain the staff on all the new procedures.
Right.
Limited parking and reduced entrances we talked about. Temperature screenings before entry for everyone, staff and guests, with a threshold of 100.4 degrees. Face coverings required, except for children 3 and younger, is the interesting one. They will provide face coverings for sale, but if you show up without one, they're not going to hand one out.
Right.
They're going to be putting physical distancing markers in queues and physical barriers around where they don't want you, which is interesting to me because I was there the second to last day before they shut down.
Right. Yeah, you were. Yeah.
People were socially distancing on their own at that point. It was really interesting to see. Like the family groups were spread out. So it's nice that they're going to kind of formalize that, though I wonder what that's going to look like. And if they expect everyone to distance 6 feet or just traveling groups. Because if you're already if you're staying in the same hotel room and you're hanging out with your family all day, that's probably a done deal, right?
Well, that seems to be
how that's going to work.
That seems to be the lay of the land as it is anyway, right? Like you go to
Right.
the store and if you have to take your kids with you, if you're with your significant other, then, you and your significant other just stay away from everybody else.
Right. And it's really interesting though. Like we haven't heard strong direction on that.
Right. I'm interested to see when Disney follows suit because
Yeah.
obviously.
Two more. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, please.
So, three more actually. Single rider line will be closed. They will not be servicing single riders.
I wonder why.
Well, because the single rider line, the whole goal was to shove people into spare spots. So if they're gonna
to
be
fill
doing
in
any
spots on the right.
space- Yeah.
Right. Because you're going to be creating the space on the ride itself. Makes absolute
don't worry.
sense.
Don't worry. I read this a few hours ago, and it just now clicked for me as to why.
Oh, no, I could have read it. I'm still the last horse across the
Right.
line. It's totally okay.
So reduced hours, no scheduled entertainment, and then hand washing stations and hand sanitizer dispensers apparently are going to be liberally distributed for the park. No plan on specifics, but that's the plan going to the governor. It was approved by the mayor.
No
so
scheduled, so no shows.
That's what it reads like.
Again, I'll be the dumb person that asked the simple question. I wonder why. Like, I mean, because
well, I guess crowds gather around. Like,
right, but that's like people who even tried doing concerts recently that they say I guess was successful. Where there's like we did a concert and it's like a third capacity and everybody stayed separate of each other, which to me just feels like back when I used to play in a band. It's like we played to socially distanced audiences as well.
Right.
Ours was not for lack of any disease transmission. So I guess maybe because they wouldn't be able to enforce the crowding as easily.
right. Like, I think this probably refers more to like live shows, like in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I'm sorry, in Hogwarts.
Right.
In Hogsmeade.
Hogsmeade. You're about to say,
Right.
yeah, Ollivanders.
Here, right. Well, the original Ollivanders.
Right.
But in Hogsmeade, right between Ollivanders and Hogwarts Castle is a stage, and they have the Beauxbatons come out and they do the Triwizard like presentation. They do singing frogs, chorus frogs, things like that. So usually a bunch of people gather to watch it, and not only do you get crowd there, but it also impedes traffic flow. And there's no
Right.
seats. It's not a theater where you can say we're going to rope off every other seat. It's right out in the street.
Right. No natural
that might
barriers
actually be
to
it.
actually
Yeah.
use. Well, and I was just thinking, the reason I say Ollivanders is because that entire show is done in a small room in Ollivanders where,
Yeah, uh-huh. Yep.
the stuff flying
Good
around the
call.
room and all that. Like you would probably, if you don't crowd them in, because I remember being really crowded. If you don't crowd them in, you're probably only getting like 15 people in there. And then the line was already so long before. But I mean, I guess you're also going to have much reduced capacity in the parks. So I guess
Yeah,
the idea
no
is some is
numbers.
better than none. Like getting
Yeah.
some people in will be better than none. But beyond that,
There are no specifics, so we don't know.
yeah, beyond that, because like I was saying, Universal seems to always want to try and get an advantage on Disney because Disney, kind of started the Central Florida idea. I know Universal, and not to go down a rabbit hole, I know Universal is doing a new park. They have a new gate that they're working on right now. So I wonder how far they've been able to get along on that. And if they're going to push that ahead, because they may use all of this to really build some momentum for them to go, you want to go on vacation? Tired of being at home? Come down to Universal, go ahead and spend that money that you've been saving all this time, that you've been eating in, not eating out, not going on vacations. And maybe they use that to keep funding that park. Or maybe it's that they really needed that money from that new gate, and now not having that revenue from that they're used to, now it's like, well, we got to open back up.
Well, even if it's at a loss, losing 10 million versus losing 5 million a day, it might be one of those things where it's an equation of we got to slow the burn.
Right. Right. Whereas Disney's like, we can sit this out for a little while because we do still have bucket loads of money.
Yeah. Speaking of Disney, I said there was no Disney news. That's not technically true.
Walt's back.
Yes. He unfroze. Just his head, though.
Just his head. Well, that's
Just
all
his
you
head.
really need.
So, right. Universal Studios, there's actually a part of Universal Studios already open, City Walk.
City
not the
Walk is
theater.
back open. Okay.
City Walk is open, not the theater. And there's also rules about that. I don't know what the rules are, but there are rules. And Disney Springs opened this Wednesday. So it'd be, 2 days ago, the 20th?
Mm-hmm.
And they opened to many of their partner stores, none of the Disney stores. Next week, next Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
The 29th, it will open. What is that? Week 23? I don't know. May 29th, the next Wednesday from now, when we're recording this, is they're going to open some of their Disney stores. And there's going to be a lot of rules about social distancing, masks, things like that as well. I don't know.
Right. So let me ask you this, just to get
Sure.
the temperature of the water. Universal opens back up. You've been social distancing, quarantine, doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. We've been trying to do the same thing. So let me ask you this. Universal opens back up. When do you feel, day one, do you feel comfortable going and being like, hey, let's take the family down and go do this trip? Or are vacations done for the family and the man class household?
Yeah, good question. So I will go right out and say, definitely not first day. Whatever happens, I want to see how it's going to be handled. Just because, if nothing else, I'm no epidemiologist, but I am a person who likes to plan, and I like to understand what's going to happen. Right. So I'm looking for the people, the travel bloggers taking their videos. I'm looking for some news from the front lines. The map is not the territory. I want to know what people have experienced before I go.
Right.
I like rules. We'll see if social distancing works. Because they said that about my local Lowe's and everyone crams around each other. So I'm going to have to see that it's something I'm comfortable taking that risk. Now, that being said, if it's really that much reduced capacity, but I know I have a way to guarantee I'm going to get in because I don't want to buy a ticket, go down there and it's full.
Right.
I don't want to wait in pack lines outside it for them to open so that we can socially distance inside. Like there's a lot of these things, but if instead of saying 3-day passes, we're going to sell you passes for this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're limiting them, and we can see that there's definitely a distancing involved. It's certainly open, especially with the news now from the CDC and other researchers that the fomite transmission, surface transmission is less risky than originally thought. Jury's still out there, still doing research, but it seems like this is really more a respiratory thing. So touching a contaminated surface looks less risky than it has in the past. Still wash your hands, but if they have hand washing, I don't know when that's going to be, but probably not till fall for me personally, because I also don't like the summer. It's hot and humid in Orlando.
Right. Lest we forget, it's still 104 degrees. I'm totally with you. We are taking a summer vacation. We are the 4th of July. We are going down to the beach.
Nice.
It's going to be different this year because usually, you go to the beach, you spend the day on the beach, and then, you go somewhere to have dinner, have some fresh seafood every night, that sort of thing. We won't be doing that. It'll be stay in, cook in, just with the families. Yep. But we also, because we go to St. Augustine, it's so close to Orlando, we usually try to make the drive over for a day, see our friends that work for the Disney company, and go to the parks for a day. And if we go over this year, what we've talked about is like, maybe we just go over to see our friends. Maybe we go over and like bring some steaks and grill out, and they've got their own little pool in the backyard, so maybe we go and like swim with them or something. But to your point, the exact point that I was going to make is, because I don't know how crowded the parks are going to be, and I don't know how long the lines are going to be, and how well they're going to be implementing the social distancing with trying to get people through rides, you could actually have a worse experience. Like you may wait longer for Peter Pan's flight, or longer for Jurassic Park, and definitely longer for Jaws. So I just don't know. I don't know, how that's going to be implemented. And I already know that they're really good at handling big crowds and big lines typically. But with all the added stuff, there's no telling. And I don't want to waste an entire day to go over there because it's expensive. I don't want to waste an entire day of paying for that.
And I think that's another important factor, right? Like, you spend a lot of money to get in that gate. We have no news if prices are going to change to reflect that. And I think you brought up, you just walked right over a really great point. We're more likely to go to, say, a cabin for the weekend. We can clean a cabin, we can wipe down the surfaces. We can hang out and cook in, sit out on the porch and look out over at the mountains or the beach. We can see, feel more comfortable seeing a friend or two now in limited circumstances, than being able to say, maybe we won't go to a different friend's house every day this week. We'll wait a few days, go. And then we have a strong chain of, contact tracing is not the appropriate term. We're not doing that, but we have a strong chain of, we know who we saw. If something happens to one of us, we can all get together. We can all call each other and say, hey, go get tested. And now that tests are also more available, which I think is another good question. Availability of tests, what if we need that? For me, it's still wait and see. But yeah, I think for a big event space like that, it's by the time I feel comfortable with understanding how the crowds work, I'm not going during summer anyway. It's going to be fall.
Right. The other thing, excuse me. The other thing I was going to mention is you made this point. We're both walking over great points that I want to come back to. Is not knowing what the prices are going to be, and that's what's interesting to me. Is typically you always know certain things when it comes to certain aspects of economy, and by that what I mean is. Prices at Disney are always going to go up. The first year I went to Disney, it was like $75, for a day pass. And then like 3 years later, it was like $89. And then the next year was like $91. The next year was like $93. And like now it's $8,000 for a day pass to go to Disney. And so like that, what's interesting is we always know that that's going to increase. Because of this, because they've been shut down, because they're losing the millions of dollars that we were talking about before they're losing per day. Now it's like, okay, here's a really big decision, and I think it is going to be impacted by Universal. Coming back to wit,
right?
Is because whatever Universal does is going to be testing the waters for what Disney and parks worldwide do. Because if Universal goes, we missed a bunch of money that we need to catch up, so now our prices are going to escalate. They're going to be higher. Now you're paying $150 a day. If that goes well and they make their money back, people are like, awesome. Now all of a sudden Disney park prices for a day, instead of being like 110 or whatever it is now, goes to like 150. Or you could equal chance of just having the exact opposite, which is Universal puts out a price that is, let's say, higher, because that's where we started with this example. They put out one that's higher and no one shows up, and shit for all. And then everybody else is like, shit, we got to go down on prices. So then Disney opens up and they're like $50 a day. Like we're going back to 76 prices, making it super cheap. Or the inverse of that, Universal opens up and they go, prices are 25% off. Y'all come to the parks. And then they get people in there, but obviously they're not going to make as much money to catch up. And then other parks then have to decide, well, am I going to use that information? Do I go low? Do I go high? That's something we've never seen before. Things have always gotten more expensive. So you've already lost a bunch of money. Now you've got to totally reset your supply demand curve to go, we need to make some sort of equilibrium point. Which way do we go?
Right. Now, if you want to save a lot on your costs to go to Disney World when it opens, or even while it's closed, I would strongly recommend against trying to camp on Discovery Island. Did you hear about this guy?
Yes, I did. What is fundamentally wrong with this person? Now, I get it sounds like fun. I would love to camp on Discovery Island too. I've watched but here's the thing. I've watched videos of people sneaking onto Discovery Island. Like they swam over with like a GoPro and like went through and looked at stuff and then like scampered out of there. And even watching that made me nervous and get scared. Like even that made me apprehensive.
Oh, and I would not be camping on that island anyway.
Well, yeah, anyway, because there's still like snakes in jars and formaldehyde and stuff. Like it was like partially abandoned. Sorry, I guess you should actually tell people what Discovery Island is for those that aren't us.
Yes. So it was a theme. It was a extra gate, basically like a wildlife park, like a zoo, mini zoo, before there was an animal kingdom, and nowhere near to that level of ambition. A lot more like a zoo. And it's out in the middle of
Bay Lake?
Bay Lake. It's out in the middle of Bay Lake, and it's still there. Like they basically closed it down, took the live animals out, and just shuttered it. And everything is still there since it's been closed since hold on a second, 1999.
99, which
99.
I did not realize it was open until then. Like I thought that it was long closed. I didn't go to Disney until 2001, but that was one of those things. They're like, oh, do you remember there used to be an island and there were animals on it? It sounded like something from decades ago. But for those that are a little familiar with
it's
Disney,
decades ago now, but yeah.
Right.
But not back in 2001 when you went, it wouldn't have been.
Right. So for those that are kind of familiar and kind of not, over where between the ticket and transportation system and Contemporary. So on the left side of that, if you're on the monorail, if you've ever ridden the monorail from TTC and you're going around to the park, on the left side is the Seven Seas Lagoon. On the right side is Bay Lake.
Right.
and then back towards what's that? Isn't it the place that not Fort Wilderness? Well, I guess it is.
Wilderness Lodge.
Wilderness Lodge.
And Fort Wilderness is behind Wilderness Lodge, basically. So,
right.
Yeah.
But basically where Wilderness Lodge is, you used to have Discovery Island, and then you also used to have the water park over there, River Country.
River Country, yep.
So both of those were over there.
Basically right next to, or was basically within, now I'm doing the same thing you're doing, Fort Wilderness.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was over on that side, which for people like me that even were big into Disney and have been big into Disney for a long time, had no idea that stuff was over there. But River Country and Discovery Island were all over there. River Country closed much earlier. Discovery Island closed in '99, and it was kind of just abandoned. Like
yeah. They
so as you were saying, they
took
the live animals out and just kind of abandoned it, right?
Yeah, and I would encourage you. Ben mentioned that there's videos of people who snuck onto it, even as close as a few years ago. Go check those out on YouTube. Really cool to see what's going on there, because these have been buildings that have been abandoned 15, 20 years, depending on when the video was shot, almost 20 years. And nature's aggressive in Florida.
Yeah.
It's no Australia, but nature's aggressive. I watch it, and then also notice that there's no way you're camping on that island without passing lots of signs, breaking through fences or climbing over gates. Like,
right.
That this is not tropical paradise.
So what happened?
Check it out. Like, watch it and imagine. Would you camp in a place like that? Think about it.
So what happened with this individual? So now that we have a frame of reference of what it is, so we know where it is, we know what it is. What happened?
They found him eventually. They took their time.
That's what they're going to say when I die. They're like, well, they found him eventually.
Right. Think about it. You put like 2 or 3 boats offshore, put a thermal camera up. You're not getting off the island. You don't have to go in after. You just wait, right?
We do have the technology. Like literally, our cell phones are probably one small step away from doing thermal imaging. So that it's.
You can buy thermal cameras for your phone.
Oh, so there you go. So we are there.
Amazon, it's like $150. It's a USB attachment or even a Bluetooth probably eventually, and like they use it for scanning your house for graphs.
So you're telling me that arguably the biggest and most known resort on the planet that has their own government, fire department, and police department has the money to spend that $150 to get thermal imaging to know that your dumb ass is on an island?
Right. And so, I'm not saying that's what they did. All I'm saying is, look, this is not, if they're on the island, it's not like you have to rush in there with some guards and risk, frankly, getting shot. If a person's crazy enough to swim across that lake with the gators in it and live on that island, you don't know what they're capable of.
That's true. So how long was this person? How long was this person on there?
They don't say specific. They don't say when he arrived. I don't know if they know when he arrived, and I don't know if he's talking about it. But the whole thing played out over a few days.
So it played out over a few days. So I joke that that they would find you pretty easily, but if it played out over a few days, that means that I'm going to assume he. I'm going to assume it's a white guy.
Yeah, that seems safe.
Florida man,
Actually, he's from Alabama.
White guy. Oh, sorry. Alabama man. Found in Florida. So, but he could have been there several days. Then my next question becomes, what do you do with your time? Yes, it's neat to be there, but like it's not a huge island. Once you walk around like a couple of times, you can't be an eye line of like outside of the tree cover. So you kind of have to be the black mist back in the tree cover somewhere.
Imagine you could read it, like bring a Kindle full of books. You'd finally have quiet. Throw your phone in the lake.
Well, that's what
here it is.
Go ahead.
The FLIR 1, FLIR, and then 1 spelled out. Generation 3 is available on Amazon. Apparently, there's different ones for Android versus iOS. I guess the connectors, they just can't make a multi-connector. Oh, yep, that's what it is. It's connectors. $200.
Okay, so
you can have thermal imaging on your phone by Sunday, May 24th with free shipping.
So let's go back to the elephant in the room on this. So he was there for some nondescript amount of time.
Right.
And then they learned, I don't know why, I think Tuesday and Thursday are the dates that come out, or the days of the week that come out in my mind. So if I remember correctly, it's like they knew he was there on a Tuesday, and then they like ran boats around or like yelled at him and things like that. One, I don't know how that lasts 2 weeks, But two, like I just imagine that they're just sitting out like in a boat, just being like, Bob, Bob from Alabama. Yes, you. You're the only one on the fucking island. Yes, you. Come on.
Well, he claims he didn't.
Come on out. He claims what?
He didn't hear them. He claims he didn't hear them.
Well, like he was taking a nap
for several days, I guess. Yeah.
He's really well. He had to swim there, so he's really tired.
Right. He got bit by some like really venomous snake and barely survived. He was passed out.
Right.
I don't
the
know.
one that was still alive left on the island.
Right. Okay. So yeah, they got him. They went in. They finally got him. It was resolved without violence, as far as was reported. And he is now asked to not come to any Disney. He has been banned permanently.
No shit.
Yeah.
He's like, but I can still go to Magic Kingdom, right? And they're like, no, Bob, no. He's like, Epcot, no, Bob. Animal Kingdom, no. And you can ask one more time. Typhoon Lagoon. Ooh, well, you do like water. No. I think it would be fascinating to go there. Here's the other thing. Okay, so I was just trying to think of this. Is you talked about cell phone, like throw your cell phone in the water. Let's pretend he didn't throw cell phone in the water. It's easy to track these things. Like it's pretty open source and easy to track these things. So I know if somebody needs to find it, they could absolutely find that he's there. Like a single cellular signal right in the middle of Bay Lake.
I mean,
the furthest that I would go, and I would never do this, I do think it would be awesome to see it. So
right.
There is a part of me in my mind that thinks, because it doesn't look like it's that big of a swim, and I'm a decent swimmer, so I feel like, you wait until nothing else is going on. Maybe it's like 3:00 in the morning. Patrol boats have gone by. As soon as they go by, you go in, you just bust ass across the lake, and you go in there and you grab your cell phone and like take a few pictures and run around and stuff like that. But then after 2 minutes, I wouldn't feel comfortable being there. It takes some balls to be there for several days and just camp out. And when they're calling your name, not even to be like, oh, my bad. Sorry, I saw an island. Thought I could just be here. Right. Just after 2 days, he's like, if I don't say anything, they'll go away.
I mean, it looks like from the relatively underpopulated, no guest area side of Bay Lake, it's probably between 1,500 to 2,000 feet. I mean, you could bust out there.
Oh yeah, that's easy. 1,500. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got that.
It's not big. It's not far. I mean, if you survive the swim over, it's not that far.
That's.
I'm happy to watch the videos.
Right. Absolutely. Sure.
I think we need a palate cleanser now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's cleanse that a little bit.
How do you feel about a Peak Kickstarter?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Peak Kickstarter.
This week on Peak Kickstarter, Dism Inverted Lighter. The world's first lighter designed for upright and inverted use. Much like pens and ice cream, perfect for the astronaut in your life. That is, if fire and space were allowed. Dism takes advantage of a patent-pending circle grip, creating a unique ergonomic grip to easily ignite in the upright or inverted position, allowing you to control the direction of the flame, which, of course, will always go upwards, unless you're on the International Space Station. I'll never buy another lighter off a gas station counter again, proclaims a beta tester who presumably has learned the lesson that a $30 product, no matter how ridiculous, better be more useful and reliable than a $1 product. I'd point out its angled flame port, but whoever amongst us has lived a life free of typos may cast the first stone here. And I screwed that up too. It's angeled. The angeled flame port. I should read my copy more closely. I even wrote the stupid thing. We should definitely point out the refillable fuel tank. One of many benefits $30 gets you over a $1 gas station lighter. Dism Inverted Lighter. The first lighter ever to target the lucrative circus acrobat market. This week on Peak Kickstarter.
And that was Peak Kickstarter.
Okay, Ben. Goal? Goal? Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Yes, in the front row. No, here's what I wanted to say about that is, one, sometimes products come along that when someone is pitching it, you're like, man, that is great. What a great idea. That's the thing I need in my life. And then the second you walk out of that room or the second you stop looking at that thing, you go, the fuck, man, I could do that. I could do that already.
Right.
I can already
I've
do
never
that.
needed to light a cigarette upside down. Like
That's if you're lighting a cigarette upside down, you have bigger problems than lighting your cigarette.
Tobey
Like,
Maguire, like if Spider-Man is like, gonna web sling and smoke cigarettes.
so I'm climbing the north face of Kilimanjaro. My hammock breaks. I'm hanging just by my 1 foot, and all I could think is, "Phew, this is rough. Could go for a smoke right now."
Yeah. You know what would smooth this out? The bold flavor of camel.
If I'm gonna die, maybe it'll be of cancer. Like they smoke real fast to be like,
Yeah. Cancer's not gonna kill me, I guess. I love it.
But it sounds like a good idea. You see it and you're
Well,
like, it's like the design looks good, and you're like, it works this way and this way. That's twice as good.
I want to come back to this, but I really got like, So the goal was $3,200.
$3,200. I have
Ben?
not looked. I have not looked at it yet. Let's play a
Would you
game.
care?
Just like we did with the Grand Canyon. Let me go ahead and venture a guess. So the goal was $3,200.
Yep.
$3,200 for a lighter
For a lighter.
that
A
works
refillable lighter.
that works straight up and upside down. Like a lighter does.
Yes. Imagine it's better than a $1 lighter off the gas station.
Okay. $3,200. I'm gonna guess because I'm gonna say they went way over and they got like $10,000.
Well, you're half right. They went way over.
Okay.
5,497 backers.
5,000
pledged.
backers.
Yeah, have pledged by the time I wrote this, which is days ago, $259,238. I don't even know what it's at right now. I'm just telling you what it was days ago.
What a bick. Really?
$250,000.
By the way, when you go back and edit this, I'm going to want you to highlight the what a bick joke. So anyway, that is unfathomable. It's not, because just like I just said, people get excited about this kind of stuff. And so when they go, I could back this, I could be somebody that has this, but then they back it, they get it because it obviously is going to make, and then they get it in the mail and they're going to tell a friend like me or you and be like, look at this lighter, it lights upside down. And you're like, okay, look at this match, it lights upside down. What the hell? Like,
Ben, full disclosure,
yes.
it looks really cool. Remember how
I thought you were about to tell me
years ago?
Sorry, I thought you were about to tell me you backed it, and I was about to back right out of this podcast altogether. Ben, I backed it.
Close.
Ben, I backed it I backed it in your name. What a terrible April Fool's joke! If you're like, I backed it, but it's in your name. It's like,
Look,
on.
We've done a good job of focusing on not punching down on the Kickstarter, finding ones that people are doing maybe victims of their own success at least. But
Sure.
we probably owe Kickstarter a back at some point. And I gotta admit, I remember when we were in college, 20, 25 years ago now, or high school, all the cool kids carried around Zippos, right? They did Zippo trick.
I was about to say I didn't learn a lot because one, it doesn't take too long to do that.
No,
but I learned
it
a couple of Zippo tricks just because I thought it was fun, but then I had no reason to use it. I don't smoke, so
yeah, right. And neither do I. But it was the ability to summon fire, do a trick to summon fire, right?
But they were not
vegetation. It's like magic tricks when they were cool.
It kind of said something about you though, didn't it? Like if you had a big lighter and you, especially there's a big lighter. I'm still on the big thing. If you had a Zippo lighter, you would get some people had the Harley ones, or other people had something kind of geeky on it. It kind of spoke to you. It was kind of part of your persona of who it was. And whenever somebody needed a light for any reason, I think more people that didn't smoke owned Zippo lighters than people that did smoke, because you could pull it out of your pocket and do that thing where you flip it open when you go back and then flip it on as you come forward.
Right.
And so in 3 little movements, you're like, you need one. It's like, boom, boom, boom. Here you go. And and you throw it out there and they're like, man, that was sweet. And it's like a conversation starter.
Yeah. I'm sad. I didn't back it, but I was for $30. I was close. I was kind of like, you know what? This would be a cool talk. It's like that. I'm kind of in it's just, if they had marketed it as a $30 cool looking lighter, they said this is a cool looking lighter. It's got this round washer in the middle for a thumb grip. Looks really cool. Zippos were like $20 even 20 years ago. So a $30 refillable lighter, that's a reasonable price for a refillable lighter, and it does look really cool. if they just went over the top with this, you could light it upside down. Who fucking cares? Like,
You know
are
what?
you serious?
You know what it really reminds me of? And we've been watching some of this lately. And by the way, the show I'm about to mention is brilliant and even more brilliant going back to look at it. We've been rewatching some Seinfeld lately. And I have to stand by it because the episodes stand up. It's a brilliant show. What this lighter makes me think of is the space pen.
Oh yeah,
The pen it writes upside down.
Yep.
And it's like a lighter that lights upside down, pen that writes upside down. It's like, yeah, but couldn't you just use a pencil? Like it's.
Yeah.
Same thing for this lighter. It's like, yes, you could, but it's so much cooler to have a space pen. It's so much cooler to have this lighter that lights upside down. And you put it in kind of a good context, which is if you were willing to pay $20 for a Zippo, you should be willing to pay $30 for the inflated price, the change in times, for essentially the same thing.
Right.
To pay $30 for this. So I make fun of it, but I'm also not a smoker. So let's think about that.
Sure.
Is that like, yes, you could buy 30 individual lighters and that would last you a lot longer, but literally 30 lighters would last me the rest of my life because I don't know how many candles, I don't know how many candles I'm going to light, but I'm not out back smoking every day. So with that lighter, actually for the times that you would only use it if you were like hanging out with other people and it becomes like a point of conversation, it would be a one-time $30 purchase for the rest of my life to have something in my pocket to be like, well, check this thing out. This was on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We did it on the podcast. Let me tell you about my podcast.
Right.
So,
exactly. Then it's a marketing budget. It sits on the shelf for 10 years and then you find it later and you're like, oh, this is cool. And your wife's like, oh, we're going to throw this out. You haven't used this in 10 years. Like, oh, no, I need that. And then you carry it around for like 3 more weeks.
$30, it's a write-off.
Yeah, it's a write-off. I got bad news.
You have bad news. I mean, I was feeling so good after that.
Well, I'm going to sandwich. We're going to do a sandwich. We're going to do another good segment after this. But the double rainbow guy died.
Aw, it's a double rainbow.
Yeah.
Paul
Vasquez.
I was about to say, let's give him the proper due. Give him the name, and yeah, I mean, rest in peace. That's sad.
Yep.
So
he died. He was 57, and it was not COVID related. It was apparently his time.
Yeah, I mean, it was on a late night talk show, wasn't it? It was an internet sensation, but didn't somebody like
sensation? He did a video of him seeing a double rainbow and talking about how beautiful it was, and he was crying. Tosh.0 railed him because Tosh.0 does that to everyone, or did that to everyone. It was on Jimmy Kimmel. He was on a bunch of different shows.
Right. They even like auto-tuned it. They gave him like a song and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I like about this? And this is something that you don't see viral enough because, you and I have made a concerned effort not to talk about what's happening with COVID-19 or quarantine so much, and definitely
I was like, distancing. It's not this.
and definitely not politics. But I will say this, and this is just an observation, regardless of anybody's side, is social media has become this place of vitriol where there's so much politicalization of everything that's happening. And I say that to say this, is going back to some of these viral videos that were from back in the day, it was just good. Like, it was just fun. It was just, here's a dude that was just like double rainbow. And he was legitimately happy. And not to exercise hyperbole on this, but isn't that kind of what everybody wants, is just to be this guy in that moment that was super happy about something, so happy he was like, I got to video this. And he videos it, and you can hear the joy in his voice. And he's just like, double rainbow, this is so beautiful. Look at this, awesome. And then he gets picked up online because of just something that is honest and good and viral for a good reason. I wish we had more of that in our life. I wish we had more stuff that was just a dude that was living his life, having a good time, and this was just an awesome moment for him, and it gets picked up everywhere.
And if somehow you managed to live under a rock 2010 to 2012 or roughly whenever that was, missed all of it, go watch the original double rainbow. Don't watch any of the cuts. Don't watch Tosh.0. Don't watch people taking the piss. Watch the actual double rainbow. As you said, this was someone who is extremely overjoyed with, and rainbows are awesome. Like, it's someone who is extremely overjoyed at a really great experience. The experience itself doesn't come through as well on a cell phone from 2010, but you're there with him when you're listening to it. So
Right. And that's something that you will never get from us, is that we might talk shit about each other, and we
Right.
may even kind of talk shit about certain products, but even then still give them their due. But what you won't hear us do is talk shit about somebody that's literally just living their life and enjoying their life. And so I'm going to take like 2 seconds here just to say this,
Yeah.
is that I'm going to speak for both of us. Lou edits this, so if you want to cut this out, you can, but it's actually coming from my heart. Is when we talk about things, if there's ever an instance of someone just living their life and living their truth and just being fucking happy, you're never going to see us squash on that, and you're never going to see us disparage that. If somebody's just happy, fucking A, man, live your life and be happy. As long as your happiness doesn't negatively impact anybody else, fucking do it, man. Do your thing. So that's it. That's my only little bit of sunshine for the day. This guy was living his awesome life. I'm sad that he's gone, but I'm glad that he got to live, and I'm glad that he got to have moments like this, and that it brought him some fame. Hopefully that fame led to some other good stuff. But man, live your life. You do you.
yes, and if you ever catch us, bashing down on somebody for having a good time, call us out, email us something, because that's not what we want to do. Paulo Vasquez. Moment of silence.
Tip of the cap to you, sir.
All right, so that was
Moving-
a long enough moment, right?
That was long enough. Yeah.
Everything
moving
moves
on.
quickly these days. You can't do a minute anymore. The world moves too quick. It's a podcast minute. Ben,
All right. So moving on. As we say, we're not going to talk. Sorry, as we say, we're not going to talk shit about things. Now I believe it's time for Ben's Amazon review of the day. Would you like to bring me? Would you like me to bring me in for that?
I would love to. Let's see here. Ben's Amazon review of the day. Boop. I'll workshop that.
All right,
Ben,
sorry.
it is time for you to give us your Amazon review of the day.
Thank you, Lou. Brought straight from the pages of Amazon with no editing or editorializing. Here we go. The Stealth Core Trainer. Full core body workout while playing games. Stealth Plankster is the new portable and compact health club fitness quality product that will push you to a new level of core training in the privacy of your own home. The Stealth Body Fitness app is free and includes two Stealth Speed Gliding games, Speed Gliding and Galaxy Adventure, both for Android and iOS. Plank and play games with proprietary 360-degree motion. Get a strong core and a healthy back in under 3 minutes a day. Stealth Plankster uses your core strength to control the action on your mobile screen. Fits any size smartphone for a fun, engaging workout. Stealth takes you on one of the most basic and advanced training exercises, the plank, and turns it into a full-on gaming experience. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Stealth Core Trainer.
So, what?
So for those that can't see it, and we'll try to post pictures, it is literally just a board on a ball.
Right.
It is a ball and socket joint. It's a board on a ball, but it has like a little place that you can just put your phone, and they have built-in apps that are literally the most rudimentary apps you can possibly have, because it just uses the accelerometer in your phone, and you play like a gliding game or basically Galaga, I guess. And
Right.
and you use but all you're doing is you're planking. Like, it just gives you something for your eyes and your mind to do. I tried to be so positive after the last thing that we did. I felt so motivating before. And you're just looking at a screen gliding, and you just use the board to move around and keep the glider from crashing to death as you exercise your core.
Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna take the other side on this one.
Okay, go ahead. You in the front row.
I am notoriously lazy. I've run 1.5 miles of my life.
I was there.
On a bet, right? And only because I knew there was going to be beer after. So Ben has experienced all of my runs my entire life. He can vouch for that. I might do more exercising if I could play games while I did it. So what I heard was that it comes with an app. So it sounds like I can put my phone or tablet in it, whatever device I have, right?
Right.
So what you're saying is it's just the balance board. There's no real electronics in it because the phone does all the work.
Right.
Like, so I could pick one of these up for like $15, right? Like this is something I might get as an impulse purchase.
I love how your mind works because that's exactly where I was going to go. Yes, there's no electronics. It's just a ball and socket with a base and a big board.
And we did not plan this out ahead of time. Like this we just worked together too long.
Unfortunately, how much did you say?
I said $15 is an easy like.
Okay. As you said earlier, I will echo your sentiment. You're half right. It does cost bucks. There's two different options. Okay. I mean, so you can go with the intro level version.
Okay.
The yellow Plankster for 149 American dollars.
Okay, give me the cheaper one. What's the cheaper one?
Or
you said that was the entry level.
Or you can go with the advanced level, which is the red one, $199.
So what's the difference?
I'm looking at it, and it's not a gosh darn thing. Like
color.
It's color, and like one has 2 elbow pads, and one has 1 continuous elbow pad. And for some reason, the one with the big continuous elbow pad, I'm sure there's a difference somewhere buried in here, but it's not. It's the same fargan thing. Yeah.
Look, man, I can buy one of these for $150 and go to Lowe's and get a can of paint for, a pint of paint for like $5-10. You know what I'm more inclined to do? I assume the app's on the App Store, right?
Right.
Can I just get one of those balance boards with the ball on it for like $20-30 off of Amazon?
You can 100% go get a therapy board, download the free app. That's their problem. You know what? This is why we should run this company, is because their problem is the app is free. You should have to get the board, but then have to pay a monthly subscription to the app, something nominal that you're not going to think about because you're like, it's like $199. And then like 18 years later, when us, the owners of this company, are like rolling around in our third yacht, someone goes, $199? What is that $199 for? A plank. So we'll secretly, it's like Office Space. We'll just skim off the top. We'll take that $199 for forever. That's where they messed up.
The husband and wife are afraid to figure out what's going on. What's this plank thing? Because they're afraid that, if they fess up about it, it's charged for a while, that like the other will notice and get mad. So nobody wants to talk to anybody in the house. Like, it's $2. We'll deal with $2.
But they both know that they see it on the thing that they both are paying like the $199, but they don't know what it is. So instead of bringing it up, that is their deepest secret that they keep to themselves. And on their deathbed, the last thing that one of them says is, I don't know what stealth is.
Yeah. But imagine that conversation. Like if you're looking at this bill and your wife has seen this bill for years and there's a stealth thing on, you're like, is this hers? I'm going to talk to her. You get up and you walk over there. And you're like, why are we paying $2 a month for this thing? And you're like, why am I having this conversation for $2 a month? Like, why am I going to start a fight? Then it's like, oh shit, what if that's mine? What if it's mine? And I say, what is this $2 a month? She's like, I don't know. You've been paying that for years. I'm like, oh, I don't know what it is. You've been paying $2 a month for something for years. You don't know what it is. Like, and then you have to have a fight about $2 a month, right? No one wants that. So it's perfect. I love it. That is, you know what? We need to make our own stealth app.
Well, yeah, actually, we don't have to. I went ahead and got us both ones for Christmas. So you're welcome.
Awesome. Well, you'll get your DISM later as soon as they ship.
I'll take a DISM.
Okay.
Yeah. Real quick, time out.
What you got?
That's about all the time I have, honestly, because we have to drop. If that's okay with you, let me talk off mine for a second. That's about all the time I have. So
I was just gonna say it is time for us to wrap up.
Okay.
That's about all the time I have for today.
Oh, well, this has been fun. Well, this has been General Geekery. Let me try again, and I'm going to make you edit that.
Very good.
This has been General Geekery. Yeah. This has been General Geekery, specifically.
It's been a podcast.
I've been Ben.
I've been Lou.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, and I'm editing this one, so ain't going to be any edit.
See you guys. Love you.
Right, later.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a Broken Toys studio production.
Yeah, still good.